Over the last year, we 3AE have been working with the Global Evidence Commitment signatories to develop a framework that describes the levers that institutions and organizations can pull to improve the culture of evidence use in their organization. We call this framework the TRIPS framework, which stands for training, resources, incentives, processes, and signals from above.
We, of course, have our standard trainings for new and newish staff on where evidence sits in all of our program cycle activities, our activity design, and more in-depth methods training on evaluation. But we also do bespoke events to really bring the latest specific and applicable evidence to what our workforce are actually working on in that moment. And one of the ways we do that is through Agency Learning and Evidence Month, where we use our agency learning agenda as a guide to bring the most sort of high-level questions that are facing our agency now and talk about the evidence that we have from that last year in those areas to the workforce of the agency that are really trying to design programs to speak to those issues.
So this year, one of the big things NORAD has done is that we've revised our strategy and our action plan for the strategy. The strategy is important for prioritizing resources for the organization and also for creating incentives for how we want our organization to work.
Certainly for FCDO, we found that having strong processes that support staff but also make requirements on how to use evidence have been really important in particularly development spending decisions, investing in support to staff through evaluations through this new strategic impact evaluation and learning fund, which will allow staff to be able to draw on expertise and embed evaluations within their programs. But alongside that, you really need the support that facilitates staff to be able to access the evidence that they need, to be able to make decisions about rigorous evidence, and ultimately to apply that in ways that they can, make a change to the way that the program is implemented and delivered.
It was fantastic to participate at the Global Evidence Commitment event for the last day and a half. We talked about a variety of ways across different organizations who are signatories to this commitment, variety of areas and ways of incorporating evidence into our programming and program development and implementation process, as well as generating new evidence. As for MCC, our inspiration for using evidence comes from our founding legislation, and that inspiration translated through our policies, internal policies, as well as practice, has created a norm for inserting evidence at every stage of our program development.
So our strategy now says plainly, and said that before, that we want to strengthen and improve how we use and work with evidence. It's been a clear signal from the top, from our Director General and further down, and now it's aligned throughout our portfolios how our staff is supposed to ensure that our portfolio management is evidence-based and built on a solid basis of evidence.
One of the things we have been finding in applying evidence and promoting a results focus within our operational work is the importance of signals from the top. What I mean by that, when President Goldfein started his mandate at the IDB, he very much emphasized the importance of impact and scale. This is now part of our institutional strategy, and that institutional strategy is now being translated into operational strategies, policies, and other reforms. All of those are going to be very important fostering greater reliance on evidence, greater use of evidence, better generation of evidence that is relevant to our work throughout operations. A key piece here is really the signal that comes, so more than the regulations and the strategies and the papers, is really the part that leadership has created the expectation that evidence, rigorous evidence, generating it and using it, is an essential part of our work.